Okay, now I'm gonna move to the installation. Okay, for the installation, and first gonna find a small glass container and put all the 620 ball bearing into it and clean a little bit first and shake it. And using the tweezer. Okay. Next, just put it on. Okay. And we're gonna do the front wheel first. For the front wheel, first, gonna so let me remove this side first. In this way, you can tell my position. Okay, so I'm gonna insert from here. Okay, and then remember this plastic tube right here, we just made up by penny gear. Insert right here. Let me give you a better angle, you can see it. Okay, gonna insert right here. Okay, next we're gonna put the crown gear right here. Okay, and next we're gonna remember those motor spacer. I recommend put about 2 or 3 pieces right here. Okay, then 620 ball bearing. Okay, like this. You might ask me why I want to put some like motor spacer right here. There's a reason, because if you don't put a motor spacer to block a little bit right here, the crown gear, which is on this end, it's gonna be keep like contact with the chassis, which right here, this part right here, so it's create a lot of resistance. That's why you have to put some motor spacer and block the gear. You have to put some motor spacer to block the a little bit ball bearing right here to keep it stay away to contact. Let me give a better angle to contact with the chassis right here. Okay, so you have right now, see they have no more. So right now you can see there's very small gap right here. This is how you keep your gear away against the chassis right here. Okay, so next we're gonna do the transmission. For the propeller shaft, first you have to open the package and make sure you put it on first to take a look at it. Okay, make sure it's not too tight. Okay, then let me tell you this. See the brand new transmission, you can see it's very loose and it's waggle from front and the back like this. So what you have to do next, using a small hammer or anything heavy to hit the top a little bit. Okay, it's better to put a napkin on top of that because you don't want to scratch the end. Okay, so you're gonna slowly just hit it a little bit, make sure not too tight. Okay, like this. So in this case, see, you fix the waggle problem. So after that, you're going to move to the next. We're gonna do the setup on this end. Okay, on this end, same thing. You are going to insert this end first. Okay, and remember the plastic tube right here. Okay, next crown gear. Okay, Okay, next, it's very important setting right here. We are going to using a 1.5 millimeter, which is spacer right here, to insert from here. Okay, so it can be in the middle of the chassis, which is right here. Okay. Okay, next we are going to adjust the gap, and this is very complicated part of that. And first we're gonna try to insert one motor spacer right here. Okay, gonna push this motor spacer all the way to here. Okay, so next I'm gonna try to put the yellow gear on top of on the shaft. Okay, and let me go ahead. It's really not easy, especially every little stuff is really tiny. Okay. Okay. Next, I'm gonna set up the bobbin on this hand first, and we're gonna take a look at it. If everything is set on the right position. Looks like it's too tight on this end. Okay, so let me take it out and do the adjust again. And it looks like just the one of aluminum space should be good enough. So let me go ahead, take it out. The most complicated of this setting it is just that you have to find the right distance, right size of the gap. Otherwise, you'll kind of block you. Looks like it's pretty okay, like this. Okay, maybe I need a little bit more, maybe just one. Yeah, it's need a one motor spacer. Okay, let me just go ahead, add the motor spacer. Okay. So you have to keep repeating assembly, disassembly. You have to keep doing that until you find the right distance between the two gear, which is the black and the yellow gear. Okay, so it's really hard to tell how exactly you need. You just have to keep looking, keep testing, and make sure it's every gear is on the right position. In this case, it won't block you. Okay. It's still too tight. Okay, after half hour force trading, finally I got it. Okay, instead of using the 1.5 millimeter aluminum, basically I just using like probably like a 5 motor spacer to fill the gap right here. And also I put a 3 motor spacer behind the yellow gear on this side. Okay, so right now you can see my transmission is pretty smooth. It's on the right spot. This setting right here, I'm using the motor spacer, which is right here and here and here. That's for blocking the gear, just preventing the gear with it's too much vibration. Another thing, I remember using the penny gear, which is right here, the plastic tube right here, the purple one. That's for position my crown gear, which is right here, to preventing the crown gear move around. Okay, so in this case, all the gear gonna be very solid and very stable on the axle and the shaft. So this whole transmission is gonna be very accurate. So move to the next. I'm gonna going to do the wheel installation. Okay, for the wheel installation, so first we are going to using one of the shaft to insert from here to here to temporarily replace the on that. Okay, so this is just gonna be my temporary shaft, because I'm gonna do one side of the wheel first. And also I got this shaft installer. So basically gonna put it like this, and we can hit it. Okay, so one end finish. And the next, gonna using a roller spacer, which is right here, roller spacer. Okay, right now I'm gonna replace back my shaft, just pushing the other temporary shaft all the way to the other side. Okay, here's one. Next, gonna do the other one. Same thing, gonna put a roller spacer right here. And next, gonna insert the wheel. Okay, like this. So next, I'm gonna put another wheel on top of right here, and I'm going to using this one to hit it like this. Okay, see, I put another plastic wheel on the bottom of right here to give it a little bit. Then we're gonna using the little hammer or either anything heavy to hit it. Okay, so it's gonna be like this. Okay, if you feel too tight, you have to using a wheel puller to adjust the gap. Just make sure it's really it's about there. Make sure do not make too much waggle. Okay, so move to the next. I'm gonna do the installation for the wheel on the back. So for the wheel on the back, you're gonna do the same procedure. So let's insert a temporary shaft, which is right here. Okay. And next, using this wheel installer. Okay. The next, just gonna be putting back everything. And then next, gonna do the insulation on the other side of the wheel. Gonna do the same thing. Okay, see, I blocked my wheel. So in this case, you can using the wheel puller to adjust the gap. Okay, looks like I have to hit a bit back more. Okay, so this procedure you have to keep repeating until it's right there. Okay, so it's really takes some time to adjust all the wheel. And that's why I'm saying this is the hardest part and the most complicated part, and that's why I'm saying this is the most complicated and the frustrating part, and a lot of people fail on this. So you really have to be really patient, and especially okay, double check again. Okay, next we're gonna fix this thing right here. The reason we want to fix this propeller shaft is because let's take a look at the propeller shaft. Okay, see you have propeller shaft on this end of tips. It's almost hitting the crown gear, which is this end right here. So if the propeller shaft is very loose, it's have potential chance to making a fraction right here. So the better way to bypass that, you better fix a little bit tips right here. So using a blade 30 degree, okay, 30 degree to remove it like this. Okay, let me give it a better angle. Okay, so same thing here on the other end. Gonna using the .30°. Okay, let me give you see the difference. Let me put it side by side, let you see the difference. Okay, as you can see, this is the one is not a cut. This is the one was cut. So the difference it is you make the shape is a little bit offset on the tips. So in this case, when you put it back to chassis, you can obviously can tell. So this end right here, see that it's bypassed right here. Because remember, if this is seen right here, if you don't fix it, what's gonna happen is, see this set of thing hitting it, see that? But after you cut it, you will bypass. See that? Same thing. Remember, earlier we trimmed the crown gear a little bit side right here. So as you can see, because we trim off, then this piece right here, and a bypass right here. See? See the gap between that and that? And so that's why you have to fixing all the gears, because the original manufacturer, the gear actually have a lot of resistance because there's a lot of pieces on the gear and on the chassis. They contact a lot, so that's why it create a lot of resistance. That's why a lot of people, the transmission, they have like a crazy noise. That's how you're gonna do the detail, how to, you know, the trim off and bypass all the different angles. So anyway, let me go ahead and move to the next position. Before we move to the next position, we are going to glue this piece, the purple piece, which is right here and here first. We're just gonna drop a little bit crazy glue. Okay. Just make sure it's a little bit tight right here. Okay. And same thing here. Okay. So wait for it to dry. Okay, next we're gonna do the assembly of all the gear cap, the engine cap, the switch cap. Okay, because this is gonna be a little bit another setting for the VS chassis. It's very useful. So first we're gonna do the switch. Okay. Okay. And the next, this is gonna be very tricky because we have to do a little bit modification on the terminal on this end. And before I start it, it's better to using a box stock terminal, because box stock terminal has better power transfer. Do not using gold plate, because gold plate, only good thing about it, it don't really get dirty. Okay, so let me go ahead. For improve the contact on this terminal right here, we're gonna cut a small pieces, the sponge break like this. Okay, so we're going to cut about size like this, and to insert to here. Same thing to the other end. So in this case, this sponge on the back giving a lot of support to the terminal. Okay, so that can improve the contact with the terminal. Okay, the next we're gonna do the modification on the gearbox right here. Because again, the VS chassis is very old chassis. There's a lot of defective, I would say a failed design on the transmission or either on the gearbox. So, but there's a way to fix it to make it perfect. The first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut a small pieces the brake. Okay, and gonna stick right here. Okay, and also here like this. This is give you a better grab or contact to push the motor all the way to the right position, because most of the time the VS chassis, they have a noise. It's not because the gearbox, it's because this piece right here, and it cannot really push the motor all the way to the chassis. Okay, then we're gonna move to the next procedure. We're gonna do the braking the transmission system. So by braking gear transmission system, you're just gonna need a box stock motor, which is right here. Okay, and put it into it. just make sure everything is smooth. Okay, so we're gonna put some grease or oil. Okay, same thing in the front. Gonna put some grease and oil. Okay. Then gonna make sure it fits. Okay, then open again. Gonna put a counter gear, which is right here. So here we go. Next we're gonna put 2 battery. You're gonna turn the power on. You're gonna get any kind of can of spray. Okay. Using the mask tape to tape the car on top of the can. And turn the power on. Let the whole system run for about a half hour. Okay, so after half hour you'll realize your transmission getting quiet and quiet. That's how you're braking the gear. Okay, because brand new gear taking some time to braking, because you have to make sure all the scrap like remaining on the gear or all the gap on the gear have to be all fixed. That's how you brake the gear. Okay, after half hour braking, the transmission can tell it's become really quiet. There's no extra noise. Okay, another thing I want to talk about it is about the setting on the gear cap right here. Remember earlier I put a 2 sponge brake right here. Okay, so again, this is for keep the motor on the right position, because VS chassis has a very failed design on the motor cap right here. So let me tell you this: if you don't have the setting like this, what's gonna happen is you can hear some noise. Okay, that's because the motor didn't press all the way. If with this setting, which right here, can press the motor all the way. Hold on, I'm gonna press it. See, the noise is gone. Okay, you release it, you can hear the noise, but you press down, noise is gone. Okay, that's why this setting is very important, because this setting right here gonna keep the motor on the right position. Because if motor on the wrong position, it's gonna create a lot of resistance, especially when the pinion gear and biting with the counter gear right here is created so many resistance fraction. That's why you have to having this setting, which is right here, to press the motor all the way to the right position. Okay, another thing I want to talk about, after you break the gear, you can see the gear transmission. It's really smooth and quiet like this. Okay, next gonna move to set up the counter gear. If you don't have the floating gear system like this counter gear right here, you can using the regular counter gear, which is like this. And for setting up the regular counter gear, it's pretty simple. And all you have to do, insert 1/620 bobbin right here. Let me give you a better angle. And for the gear shaft, using this one, the fluorine coated gear shaft, which is this one, item number 15400. So here's the one right here. Okay, because this one, the fluorine gear shaft has more smooth and sleepy surface. The box stock one has really rough surface, so this one definitely have lower resistance. Okay, so for this one, you just insert right here, and next using this one right here, the roller spacer. Okay, using roller spacer to insert to this end of the gear, and then gonna set up right here. Okay, so this model spacer has two functions. The first function is preventing the ball bearing right here to get a block by the chassis, and the second thing is keep the gear, the counter gear right here. Let me give a better angle. They keep the counter gear a little bit away from the chassis, instead of this side of counter gear was contact with the chassis on this side to create some resistance. So this sitting right here, see, it's had a little bit gap right here. It's preventing right here to create some resistance. So with this setting, let me put the gear cap back. So with this setting right here, you can hear the system transmission is really quiet. Okay, there's no extra noise. Everything run pretty smooth. It's not really necessary have to be the floating gear system like this. Sometimes the very basic upgrade like parts is also pretty useful. Okay, move to the next. We're gonna do another setting which is optional, and this optional setting is really up to you, but it's really better to do it because a VS chassis has another disadvantage. It is as you can see, the propeller shaft, which is right here, the notch on this and here and here, because it's older chassis, that's why this piece it is too weak. So in this case, you have to find a way to reinforce a little bit on both sides, because that's what happened to my older chassis right here. This is my older VS chassis. Here the transmission notch right here, propeller shaft was going to, this piece got broken during the race. Again, because the VS is a very old chassis, that's why I have a lot of disadvantage on the design. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna insert a little piece of carbon fiber right here, and also we're gonna insert another carbon fiber right here to make this end and this end a little bit stronger. So first we're gonna do this side first. For this side, for that side, we're gonna using a carbon fiber or either FRP popsicle like this type of, and we're gonna cut small pieces like about 5 millimeter long and 3 millimeter, about 3.5 millimeter width. Okay, like this. So here's about 5 millimeter right here. Okay, and we're gonna cut another 3.5 millimeter like this. Okay. Okay, here's the small piece I just finished cutting. I'm gonna go ahead, take it out. Okay, it's gonna be, looks like this. I mean, it's really small, but we're gonna try to see if it fits. Okay, I'm gonna remove the propeller shaft. You know, it's better to do it before you do the assembly on the transmission. But you know, to be honest with you, I kind of forgot to do this setting because I think it's optional. So anyway, I'm just gonna do the setting right now. But again, it's really better before you do the assembly of the transmission. Okay, so here are the little pieces. So first I'm gonna try if it fits. You know, it fits. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead using a files to file a little bit on the side, so it makes it a little bit like, you know, smooth on the angle. Okay. Okay, next I'm gonna apply some crazy glue on the surface right here. Okay, and I'm gonna glue that right here. Okay, it's gonna be, looks like this. Let me give you a better angle. Okay, so in this way we'll make this side a little bit stronger. Okay, so coming next, I'm gonna do another piece around here. Here it's gonna be a little bit complicated because here we're also gonna make a little bit notch right here. Okay, see the little notch right here? So we're not just gonna cutting one piece off, we're also gonna make the small notch can fit to the little plastic notch right here. So we're gonna cut about I believe it's gonna be 9mm long. It's gonna be from here to here. Okay, here it should be about 9mm. Okay. Okay. Okay, here's the piece I just made, and as you can see, it didn't really fit to here. Okay, I need to remove probably about 0.5mm to make it fit. So I'm gonna continue to remove. You can file that, or either just using a machine to cut off. So it's really up to what you have on your hand. Okay, so I'm just gonna using machine to remove a little bit on the side, make it fit. Okay, let's see. Okay, right now should be about right there. Let's try. It's still too big. Let me just go ahead and move a little bit more. Okay. Let's see if it fits right now. Yeah, it's about right there. Probably a little bit more. Okay, after a couple times adjustment, so this little piece right now is right fit to the little notch right here. Okay, so I'm gonna do another adjustment. It is gonna cut a little bit aside to create a small notch right here, so makes to right fit to the little notch right here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna using marker to mark about right here. Okay, so gonna keep. So next gonna put it into it, see if it's if the mark right there is fit to the little gap over there. Okay, see that? Okay, then next gonna using the melting machine to cut it again. Okay, after you cutting this little notch right here, we're gonna put this one back to make sure the modification I did it's fit to the notch right here. Look, still have a little bit still this piece right here is a little bit too tall, so I'm gonna trim off a little bit more to make it level, about 0.4 millimeter maybe. Okay, so let me put it back to the machine again. Okay, let's take a look at it again. Okay, yeah, it's about there. So this is the hardest part. You have to keep adjusting until it fits. So after that, I'm gonna trim the extra parts right here to make it completely level about right here and here. Okay. Okay, now just gonna apply some crazy glue on little surface right here. Okay, and set these little pieces right here. Okay. So it's gonna be like this. So let me give you a better angle. You can see the detail. So as you can see, I have this replacement to glue here to reinforce this part, and I also have this little piece right here to support on the side. So right now the transmission right here, the most weakest part right here, is all being fixed. Next, we're just gonna put back the transmission propeller shaft, and we're gonna to see how it is right now. Okay, so let's take a look at it. Okay, looks like pretty good. And let me go ahead. Okay, it's pretty quiet and smooth. Okay, so we're gonna move to the next step. Next step, we're gonna do the setup on the back.